And welcome to the post-game show here at Time Warner Arena. I'm the coach, Dick Cox, joined by Alan Knight. Happy New Year, almost.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, and I hope you had a good Christmas.
I did, and it's trying to move on to 2015. That sounds kind of weird there, though, but the Hornets still trying to get back in gear during the holiday season. Had a tough one tonight. Came out, played awful in the first half from the standpoint of could not bite a basket with 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. It only scored 4 points in the quarter, sitting there at 22 points and all. And this team came from 21 down, gutted their way back, and actually took a 2-point lead in the final minute of play. But the Bucks tied it up, and then in overtime just hit the wall and ran out of gas.
Yeah, they did. They let the Bucks go 21-11 in overtime. Just couldn't get their shots to go. Big Al went out with an injury, which didn't help any. Couldn't get their rhythm back and ended up losing 104-94.
And you're listening in the background. This is a University of North Carolina alumni night, so you can hear all the noisy Tar Heels in the background back here. Two players from the Hornets and two from the Milwaukee Bucks, John Henson and Marshall from the Bucks are here, while P.J. Hairston and Marvin Williams are in the background. So if you hear all that chatter and all that garbage in the background, it's Tar Heel talk.
Oh, just because you're a Duke fan, don't be a hater.
All right.
If it was Duke back there, you would have the camera on.
The camera would be there, and I would get out of the way if we were doing that, though. But getting back to our game tonight, though, kind of a costly game tonight, though, because Al Jefferson, who has been playing injured with a pull growing muscle or strain growing muscle, actually had to leave the game in the fourth quarter. Was not very effective while he was in. Was actually 2 out of 12 or 3 out of 12, I believe, from the floor, and ended up having to leave the game in the fourth quarter without injury. And looks like the Hornets are probably going to be without him for several games now.
And that's a big injury to them, with his being in the center and being able to get the shots in the post and defense also. But you had Marvin Williams tonight coming out with 14 total rebounds tonight, and that was probably one of the good bright spots of tonight's game. I was aggravating you, and somebody asked Coach Clifford, said, what do you tell the guys at halftime? Well, I said, I told you need to go in there and show them how to break a board.
That's right. Heaven knows I've had my share of holiday basketball play tantrums to try to wake teams up during the holidays, though. And I think one of the dumbest questions I ever saw was asked tonight was, when you go 18 on a team goes on an 18-0 run and you go 7 minutes without scoring, what do you tell the players during the timeout? Lord help us. What are you going to say? Make the shots, dummy. Make the shot, dummy. No. There's not a whole lot you can say and like that, though. And I swear, it just frustrates me. I hear some of the dumbest questions, I guess, being a coach, and glad that they're not addressed to me right now. Bless Coach Clifford's heart that he's the one that has to answer them, and I just have to sit there and say, have you ever put on an athletic supporter in your life?
Yeah, it is true, and that's why I sit back and be quiet and just listen, because I've never played the game, but I wouldn't ask a question like that because I know there's not much you can say. But let's stick to our plan. Let's do what we've practiced. We know what to do against these guys, and let's execute. And like Clifford said, their body language was way off in the first half. You could just tell they came out real strong with a 14-0 run, and then went flat until the second half, and then they battled back. Beautiful second half. I mean, when they outscored them by 20 points in the second half to tie it up.
They actually jumped out to a 14-6 lead early in the game. Really looked good, were aggressive and attacking. And then, like we said, they go 7 minutes without scoring. And during that time, we're outscored 18-0. And it was frustrating. And, and again, you've got Al, who was playing hurt. He was not effective. Gary Neal, who was questionable for the game, looked like he was not feeling well and did not play well and just really not in the game. And Coach Clifford even mentioned that too, that Gary was not himself tonight, which he was not. spot and all. And it's one of those things that this could have been a huge win. If this team could have gutted it out and fought back and got the W tonight, though, this could have been a huge win, though. But, you know, this, I think, may be the last time they play them this year, and they finished beating the Milwaukee Bucks 2 out of 3 times, but had a chance to, here in Time Warner Arena, to have come down from 23 and 21 to beat them. That would have been a feather in their cap if they could have done it.
It would have been, because they really got the they got the crowd into the game the second half, stayed with them the whole time, and it would have been a shot in the arm, and they would have snapped a 2-game losing streak. Do they have any games coming up?
Yes, they have to go to the Houston Rockets for New Year's Eve, which is going to be tough, and then come back 2 days after that and take on LeBron's circus comes to town Friday night.
And see, if they could have got this win, it would have given them a little bit momentum to hopefully be a little bit more aggressive against those other 2 teams. Now they're on a skid again. I mean, we were in the locker room. It was, you should have played just just somber morgue music, because they need to liven up and suck it up and start playing some basketball.
They need something good to happen right now, because they've sent out 2 players to the D League to try to get them experience right now. You've got some guys that are battling a slump right now. Gary Neal's been in a slump. You know, Cody's been a little bit of a slump as far as being able to score, although he made some huge plays, I thought, defensively going down the stretch, blocked that layup that would have tied it, and unfortunately nobody bothered to get the rebound once he blocked Knight's layup that would have tied it, and Knight gets the rebound, sticks it back in after a great block, though. But you got some guys whose confidence level, to me, looks like it's really down. Not a lot of good things happening to them right now, and if you could have got through this one tonight with a win, that's great. But now you're going to play your next 2 games with Al playing the Rockets, who on the road, that's going to be a tough task playing them. And then LeBron, where this losing streak could get to 5 before you know it.
In a heartbeat, just like the previous one, until they started winning games again. 82-game season, do they have enough time to turn it around and get competitive for the playoffs, or –
well, I don't think at this point you could even talk playoffs, because you're looking right now at being probably 5 games or more out of the 8th spot. I know, you know, you still got half the season to go, but we're in the 30s in games now. You play 82, you're almost to the midpoint of the season. You've got to turn it around. You've got to start playing consistent, and you got to start getting the W's on people you're supposed to beat at home. You know, I still say losing 2 games to Orlando at home will come back and bite them in the rear end before it's all said and done. You cannot lose 2 home games to Orlando, which means you're going to have to step it up and maybe beat a Houston Rocket team on the road or something to get one. That's why I always had to tell my team, when you lose a tough game, we got to steal one on the road from somebody. And it's going to be tough going out, you know, on New Year's Eve to play those games there. But, you know, you never know. Look at the team we saw. Other Charlotte teams sure stepped up out of nowhere and played. And, you know, this team's capable of doing that too, because everybody wrote the Panthers off when they went 2 months without winning a game. And look where they are right now, wearing divisional championship hats with a playoff game that's winnable. So anything's still possible.
Yeah, it is. So let's turn it around, Hornets, and let's get the ball rolling the way we want it to go.
Well, next home game, the circus, LeBron and company come to town. They're not invincible. They're beatable. It's just a matter of who's going to be healthy, who can play on that one, though. So, again, not a good report tonight. Hornets lose in free basketball in overtime, 104-94 to the Milwaukee Bucks. So I guess the Bucks stops here.
It did.
And unfortunately, it stopped with Milwaukee going home with the W, though. So that's going to wrap it up for our Hornet basketball for 2014. Maybe we got better things, better reports, better things to report on in 2015.
Happy New Year.
He's Alan Knight. I'm the coach, Dick Cox. Happy New Year. We will be with you tomorrow night from the Belk Bowl. Until then, good night, everybody.